just bring to you my thoughts on Final Fantasy 14 and some things that's just been going on as of recently. And if you do like this video, and if you wish to really stay in the know on the content that's being uploaded here on this channel, just be sure to click the subscribe button there, so that you can also be a part of the hashtag Hoolie Nation. Now, I just want to go ahead and talk about mentors in Final Fantasy 14, the right and the wrong with them. And to start off, I want to say that mentors, and I'm here in Midgårdstormr, and me here in Midgårdstormr, starting off, to be honest with you, when this program was introduced in Final Fantasy 14, I thought it was a really cool thing. I know there's a double-edged sword, because you're going to meet some people that are cool, and you have some that's just going to really be rough around the edges. But as of recently, to be honest with you, things have just really been spiraling down for the worse. And they've just been purveying something that I felt that shouldn't even be in Final Fantasy 14, and that's a toxic environment. To give you an example, see, I'm here in Midgårdstormr, and there are some things that people would do that are just completely wrong. For instance, I feel that you have players who are mentors that will recruit other players into their FCs without even having some form of an immersion aspects to what they're doing. The purpose of being a mentor is helping out players in this game, so they can definitely have a better understanding of what this game is really about for them. Now, my issue is, however, is that you have players that are in this game that don't know what they're doing. And I'm not saying mentors are the know-it-alls and they're supposed to be the wise sages, because basically, the thing of it is about being a mentor is that you don't know it all. You know what I mean? You don't know it all at all. You know, so well, let me just rephrase that grammatical error there, excuse me. You just don't know it all, plain and simple. And the thing of it is that you have players that will take these saplings or the sprouts, if you will, they will take them, place them into the, channels, and don't even talk to them at all. I have another character who I've been working on, and I'm not even going to mention any names. I don't want to blacklist any players. Let's just say this person is very popular on this server in Midgårdstormr. They would take my character and place them in the chat channel, in the mentor chat channel, and they didn't even know whether or not that was my alternate character or not. And my thing being was that I felt like, okay, this was pretty rude, because just because you may see a sapling, right next to their name, doesn't mean that they don't, that they're new. And instead of even just talking to me, to even just send me a message just to say, hey, how you doing? Because I was AFK. And instead, I found myself in the chat channel. I'm like, what is this? And come to find out, it was a mentor channel. And I had to let everybody know, look, this is my alternate character. I'm not new to this game. And, and they understood. And like I said, there's some players I have met in this game are pretty cool. And what I mean by that, out of this year, and since the mentor program has been introduced in Final Fantasy 14, I've met 4 cool people, met 4 cool mentors in this game. And that's combining dungeons and just walking around, in Final Fantasy 14, basically in my servers overall. And that's not an exaggerate number, okay? What I find strange is that I like to try to give a level of respect to mentors, because you have some legitimate ones out there that are really putting it down, that really are helping in this game, but 9 times out of 10, I don't see them. I know they're out there, but I don't personally see them. And the thing about it is that when I was in the chat channel, there are some players who are relatively new. They've also been pulled into the channel. They're relatively new, and these players are asking for help. I'd say 2 of those players received maybe just a little bit of chump change of help, and that's about it. But what I find funny is that these players are asking for help, and the rest of them are entirely ignored. And when I go into the chat channel, these people are using this as another forum to just talk about some inappropriate things that never made any sense whatsoever. It pertained nothing to the chat channel. I'm not saying anybody for you guys to, if you're a mentor, you know, yeah, of course, you're going to want to, you know, kick back and kind of like relax and have, you know, small conversations. But that's what party chat is for. That's what Party Finder is for. That's what, you know, other channels that you can actually invite people into, such as a link shell or whatnot. That's what that's for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can have your own forum and do that. But when you're in a mentor chat, it should be kept to a point where you're actually helping someone. Okay, so if a person is asking for help, you should help them. You know what I'm saying? A small, you know, a small talk or conversation, there's nothing wrong with that. But stuff like that needs to be monitored. Because there's been some offensive things that's been stated. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, I don't get it. And people defend that type of behavior. But that's not even the whole part. I go into a dungeon, and, you know, my friend here, you know, he went into a dungeon, and, you know, there's times of where players who are mentors, they think that they know it all, but they don't know it all. You know what I mean? And the perfect example is this: is that I was in Holly Tolly, and this player happens to, well, I simply asked, you know, hey, you know what I'm saying, I was like, hey, you know what, why don't we, you know, I asked because I was a tank, should I pull big? And the mentor was like, well, no, you shouldn't pull big because you don't have this and this and this. And that was a Dark Knight, and it was like, you don't have, you're limited to AoEs, aside from your, from the one that you have now. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull big. And this player, the healer, was like, yeah, go for it. And we went through the dungeons with no problems whatsoever. Not literal to no problems, but no problems whatsoever. So I had to prove the mentor wrong at that. Another mentor comes in, and the mentor was using, you know, a class that had no idea what they were doing. And the player was using warrior class and did not use Defiance. And this is in a dungeon. Again, this was in a dungeon. Player was using Defiance, was not using Defiance, and we all were wondering why this player was not, you know, pulling, you know, any aggro, was not using Overpower, was not using Defiance, but yet he was blaming the healer for pulling the aggro. But we were like, you're not using Overpower, you're not even using Defiance, and you're blaming the healer for not using, you know, for, you know what I'm saying, for pulling aggro? That makes no sense. So he starts calling this chick, you know, names and everything else, man, and then he turned his anger towards me because I'm the only one that's taking up for the person. And instead of getting kicked out, instead of that person get kicked out, I got kicked out. And I was like, if you guys are going to defend this is on you. So I get kicked out, and I have to wind up reporting every last one of them because he was blaming the healer. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know whether the healer stayed in there or not. I don't know, but I know I got kicked out. That made no sense. And there's, you know, so there's mentors that were going through dungeons and pervade this elitist type, being rude, you know, being extremely heavily constructive. It's not even so much as being constructive, it's just outputting vitriol, okay? And the vitriol that they output in the, you know, say in the dungeons, and they blame others, it's a cause for a toxic environment. And that type of immaturity is unacceptable, especially in the likes of Final Fantasy XIV, because this is something you would never really encounter. I think the most that you truly encounter is some people that are just bitter and rude, but never just to really output any form of toxic immaturity that's, you know, that would cause disruption in a dungeon. And most of them are mentors. I just don't get that. I really don't get it. So what are some of the solutions that we as players in Final Fantasy XIV, more so for me, especially for Midgore Stormer, what can we do to, you know, to provide some solutions for Square Enix? Well, one of the things that I would honestly say is that, yes, the requirements, and I say the requirements to become a mentor is good. For me, I am in line and on the way of becoming a mentor. I personally feel that there needs to be mentors who are legitimate, who are doing something right for the community, to basically come out there and basically make your presence known. I think that would definitely combat some of the idiotic mentors that are in this game that are causing quite of a downfall in this said community. or rather even the mentor community for that matter, I think that there needs to be a step up to this, okay? So basically the mentor presence is one. Number two, you don't need to invite these players, you know, into the mentor chat channel if they don't even know you, okay? If you haven't even spoken to them and they don't know who you are, then simply put, don't invite them to there. You don't have to randomly invite them to it, okay? Instead, what you can do is just send them a tell. There's nothing wrong sending them a nice tell stating, hey, are you new to the game? Or, hey, I noticed you're a Sproutling. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. You know, offer them an immersion, offer them like a complete immersive experience for them. Get them immersed into the game, so that way they can say, they can come into the game, they can actually see that there's players who are legitimately helping them, and they can say, you know what, that's awesome. I'm not saying you have to basically hold their hands, you know what I'm saying, to walk them all the way to level 50 or anything like that. I mean, in fact, I think there's nothing wrong with it, but let's be real here. If you can definitely do that, that's awesome. But my thing is that there's nothing wrong with at least letting them know, hey, here, you know what I'm saying, this is what you can do in the dungeons, this is how you play the game, this is how you play your rotations, this is where you can go to actually know, you know, how to utilize your tanking skills or your classes, your jobs, and if you want an immersive experience, I can show you on a striking dummy or something to that effect. Hey, this is how you use rotations in this game. Or hey, this is how you use your rotations at this particular level or that level or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Help them along the way. Help them do some, you know, do some missions. Help them with their quests sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. Help them with their side quests, with their levies. It could be a benefit to you as well. You can possibly use your other class job you haven't leveled up yet. And if you leveled up all your classes to 60, then hey, share some of that experience and some of that knowledge with them. Be immersive. That's what the mentor program is for. Okay? Not being rude and calling people trash noobs because they didn't use one simple skill. And they're, you know what I'm saying, and without even proper knowledge. I mean, you're not helping them at this point. You're hindering them, and you're disrupting gameplay as well. Because at that point, if another person was to stick up for that person and you kick them out for it, then you're liable to get banned and your mentor status be taken away. And some of you guys out there may not care at all. I personally don't care about that. Okay? I'm letting you know that I don't care about that. What I care for is the right in our gaming community and the right to speak up at least on this issue that is starting to become a toxic nature in Final Fantasy XIV. This is something this video shouldn't be out there because of this. I mean, I shouldn't be talking about just my negative thoughts about Final Fantasy XIV where there's little to none to be had. Okay? But when you see but when I'm having a friendly conversation with my good friend here, and we're talking, and the first thing that comes out of his mouth is the mentor. I'm like, man, you know what? I have over 80-something videos of Final Fantasy XIV, the games I'm playing, this game I'm playing, streaming, you know, doing highlights and things like that. And there's mentors on these videos are absolutely just, or just purveying some crude nature, just being crude and rude. And it's like, wow, where is all this coming from? I'm not expecting for everybody to be perfect. I'm not expecting perfection in our communities. I'm expecting excellence. There's a complete difference. At least let's showcase to people why Midgard Stormer is great, and more so why the mentor program is excellent. And this goes for everybody else out there, man, and every other server. Share your thoughts. Have you seen some of the idiocy that is, you know, from these mentors? And if so, what are the problems that you've ran across? And what are some of the solutions that you think Square Enix should do? I'm not saying just purvey some outlandish solution or anything like that. Basically what I'm saying is this. Solutions. Like I said, that's two of the things I spoke on what they can do as a mentor. Another being, to be honest with you, is just really start having some form of a proactive presence from admins, you know, saying that catch this type of behavior in this game. Okay, because really what the mentorship is it's a tribunal system. It's a tribunal system for players to come together, and those who are, you know, who have spent their time in this game, you know, it's sort of like a prestige, reward for them, more so a reward for them, and it's basically giving them experience to actually help other players out. I mean, this is a program that we all wanted in this game. We all asked for it, and yet people are abusing it. You know, so I don't understand where all this is coming from. But this right here has to stop, because I'm warning you now. If we don't nip this in the butt now, if we don't start voicing ourselves on this matter, and for Square Enix to actually take a look at this video, and take a look at some of the voices, some of the words, some of the thoughts that are being said from the legitimate players out here that truly don't want any sort of disruption in our games. All right, we're not logging in. We're not clocking into Final Fantasy XIV just to play and have fun. We're logging into this game to have fun. This is not work. Okay, so I shouldn't be receiving any sort of rudeness from the mentors. You get it from players everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And in that case, that can't be helped. But from mentors, that's a problem. And at this point, if anybody comes on and you're introducing them to Final Fantasy XIV, and the first thing comes out the mouth is like, well, mentors, they're pointless. Ask yourself, this is a product, man. Do you want to hear something like that? To say that it's a pointless program to have? A pointless product to have, at least in the game? I mean, that's just weird to me, man. I mean, I wouldn't want that. I don't want that on this channel. I wouldn't want that. And that's something I'm working hard for. I'm working hard so I can become a mentor, so I can be of help to other players. You know what I'm saying? But until then, man, I really hope that we can actually nip this in the butt, because if not, it's going to get worse. And when it gets worse, it's going to get to a point where Square Enix will become much stricter in what they release. So, but until then, guys, think about that. Share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And, you know what I'm saying? Just let me know. Just let me know. Just put it in the comment section below. Be sure that you're following me on Twitter. Be sure you also follow me over on Facebook at A2H, Facebook.com/A2H Project. Be sure to click the website, and of course, you got some links, other links below you can check out. But until then, guys, thank you for watching. Be blessed by His grace. Sho'Nuff.